Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're doing a tier list ranking every story from Doctor Who, classic and modern. Now, one of my other fellow YouTubers, DW Fan 91, also used this tier list. He did, I believe, a video ranking all of the classic ones. I haven't watched that one, but I've seen his second video where he ranked all of the modern ones onto it. Very good video. And he left a link to this, and I've modified it slightly because I like to have a lot of different tier levels. Now, I've done a few of these with different doctors, ranking them where they fall relative to their era and how much I enjoy them. Excuse me, my sinuses are up a little bit. But I wanted to try to do a list where I'm trying to look at all of the stories from Doctor Who, from Hartnell through Ncuti Gatwa's first story, and try to scale them all on one chart. That way each era is not kind of just relative to its own era. Now, C tier, of course, is the average tier. Anything that lands in C is average. Anything above C is above average. Anything below C is below average to varying degrees. We do have a GOAT tier. There will be a handful of stories in that, some of the greatest of all time. And then there is a straight up garbage tier. Yes, I was going to be G tier, but then I just realized I might as well write garbage because we do have an E, F, and G tier. But G, I just wrote in garbage because it's garbage. Because there are some stories in Doctor Who that are just garbage. Very little redeeming qualities to them. Maybe one or two, but still straight up garbage. We'll probably be a minute into this video before we get to some of those. But we are going to rank every story. We'll see if we can do this in one take. From an unearthly child all the way to the church on Ruby Road. Starting with an unearthly child. I'm going to go B. Now, the first episode, straight up GOAT tier. The very first episode would be GOAT tier. Because that first episode is amazing and does everything it needs to set up the story. The rest of the story is fine. I actually enjoyed the caveman stuff. It doesn't blow me away, but it's fine. It's not bad like some people would rank it. I do think those episodes are underrated, but I think it's a solid B story. The Daleks. C. It's too long. And a lot of the... If this was the first Dalek story I ever saw, it would probably be higher. But having seen it probably in the mid-2000s for the first time, or around 2007, 2008, it just drags. The voices aren't quite there. I actually prefer the color version of this. The color version of this would be in a solid B. If there was one for it on here, would be a solid B. But the regular version is a C. I actually prefer the new color version over the regular version. Heresy, I know. The Edge of Destruction. Gonna have to drop that to D. I love the ending. I love the ending. I love that Barbara's the one who figures it out. Very progressive for the 60s. I love that the doctor apologizes to her, and the fact the doctor for the first time starts treating Ian and Barbara as actual people and possible companions instead of just as an annoyance. I like that. I'm still debating whether the Daleks needs to drop a little bit, but I guess C is fine for it. Marco Polo. I have seen the 30-minute cut down. Going off of that, I'm going to say C. That's about as much as I could give it as C. So we'll go off that for C. Keys of Marinus A. I like the Keys of Marinus. I do. I love the variety of episodes in it. The Aztecs is just a solid B for me. I find it a little overrated. I love Barbara gets a lot to do in it. I love a couple of the scenes with her in the First Doctor, and I love the humorous stuff with the First Doctor, but I do feel it's a little overrated while still being very good. The Sensorites. I enjoyed it on my first watch through, more of a B, but I think on a rewatch it'll be more of a C. Right there. Reign of Terror is S tier for me, maybe. I do like Reign of Terror a lot. That's maybe more subjective, but I like it. Planet of Giants. I did like Planet of Giants, but I only watched it the one time. Let's go A. Dalek Invasion of Earth. A. The Rescue is S. I love The Rescue a lot. I really enjoy that one. The Romans. The Rescue and the Romans, it's really hard whether they go in S or GOAT. Because I love the Romans. I found it absolutely hilarious. And go with S for now. The Web Planet. Ooh. I gotta put it in F. I admire the ambition. I respect the ambition, but yeah. The Crusade, solid B. If the missing episodes were intact, I think this would be A or S. Space Museum, solid B. I like Space Museum. I mean, the first episode, S tier. But the rest of it's fine. I think solid B. Better than some. The Chase, despite having a couple good episodes, I don't get into The Chase. The Time Meddler is GOAT tier. I love The Time Meddler. That's probably my favorite Hartnell story. It is really, really good. Really good. Galaxy 4. I like Galaxy 4, but do I think it's a B or a C? I'm going to bump it into B because I love the Chumleys. Mission to the Unknown, solid C. Mythmakers. Mainly just because the recon's hard to get through. It's going to go below average. But I love the novelization, so that gives it a few points. Dalek's Master Plan, I have not seen. I need to make a tier for not seeing. Well, I haven't seen it, so I'll just skip past it because there's only 5 stories I haven't seen at this point. I haven't seen Master Plan. I haven't seen Massacre. The Ark is an A tier for me. I love the Ark. Toy Maker. I love episode 4, but the recon of the other 3 episodes is hard to get through. So episode 4 is like S or A tier. I'm going to put it in C with so much of it missing. The Gunfighters. No, still going right there with the Gunfighters. Let's see. The Savages I haven't seen. The War Machines. Solid B. The Smugglers I also haven't seen, but I've read the novelization, so I'm going to go off the novelization. This is hard. This is really hard. I'm going to go with a B. 10th Planet. I'm going to go with a C for 10th Planet, to be honest. Power of the Daleks. That's going to go up to GOAT. That's definitely going to GOAT tier. I love Power of the Daleks. It's one of my favorite Doctor Who stories. One of the best Dalek stories. Definitely GOAT. Highlanders is going in. Yeah, I liked Highlanders. I'm putting it in A. I like the recon and the novelization. Underwater Menace was, yeah, I'd say average. I liked it well enough. Moonbase is S tier for me. I love the Moonbase. Macra Terror, also S tier. That's more due to the animation for me. I just love the animation a lot for that. Faceless Ones, average. Evil of the Daleks. Ooh. All right, I'll settle with S tier. Tomb of the Cybermen. Yeah, I'll give it A tier. I will give it A tier. Abominable Snowmen. I enjoyed this. I've only watched it. Well, I watched it once in color, once in black and white. I do like the animation. Yeah, I got to give that A tier. The Ice Warriors. Not the biggest fan. A little below average for me. Enemy of the World. I don't go back to this one a lot. It's a little below average. As much as I love Trout's performance, it's a little below average. The Web of Fear, just a B for me. I don't get into the Web of Fear as much as some people get into the Web of Fear. I think it's good. It's really hard because part of this is my personal enjoyment, and part of it's how good I think objectively the story is. It's actually very difficult. Fury from the Deep is E. The story deserves to be in S tier, but the animation deserves to be in garbage, so I'm going to put it in E. Wheel in Space, I thought was fine. I thought it was about average. Having just recently watched it for the first time, The Dominators, not quite garbage. I'm going to put it in E. The Mine Robber, I'm going to prop it up to A tier because I like some of the ideas in it. The Invasion is definitely GOAT tier. Crotons. I like the Crotons. It's underrated to me. A tier. Seeds of Death. C tier. Space Pirates. Ooh. Because the novelization of the Space Pirates is right here, but trying to get through that recon is such a slog. Yeah, I gotta go there. I don't think it's complete garbage, but I can't put any higher than that because it's so hard to get through. And the War Games. Yep, gotta go and GOAT. Spearhead. I'm gonna give it S tier, partially just because the Blu-ray of it looks so good since it was all shot on film. Silurians, solid B tier, phenomenal ending. Ambassadors of Death, just that ending, it's too long. At 7 parts, it's just a little too long. Inferno is GOAT tier, one of the greatest Doctor Who episodes ever made. Terror of the Autons, solid A. Mind of Evil is S tier. Claws of Axos. Nah. Even as my weakest Pertwee story, I still think it's just in D. Colony in Space is solid B. The Daemons. I'll be honest, the Daemons is a solid B for me. You guys know that. Day of the Daleks. With the updated special original effects would probably go here. I think the updated are going up here. This is one of my favorite Dalek stories. Plus the idea of that time paradox, I love a lot. It's got to go GOAT for me. Curse of Peladon. C. I like it well enough. Sea Devils. Can't rank it higher than Silurians. Ooh, let's see. The Mutants. I thought The Mutants was a B. I've only watched it the one time. I need to rewatch it. Same thing with The Time Monster. 3 Doctors. S or GOAT. S or GOAT. I will just say S. Carnival of Monsters. S. Frontier in Space. C. I'm going to run out of room to show all the tiers on here, aren't I? Got a little more room to work with. Planet of the Daleks. Nah, I'm not a big fan of that one. The Green Death. The Green Death. Boom. Let's see. The Time Warrior is S tier. Now I see why they don't like having so many categories. It is so hard to fit all of this on the screen. Time Warrior is definitely S tier. Invasion of the Dinosaurs. Solid A tier just from the story. Death to the Daleks is a solid A tier for me. I love Death to the Daleks. Monster of Peladon is C. Planet of the Spiders. I'll be generous and give it B. Robot is solid S for me. I love Robot. Ark in Space is solid S. Solid S. Sultan and the Experiment. I'll give it a B. Genesis has got to go into GOAT because it's Genesis. I mean, it's got to go in GOAT. Revenge of the Cybermen is a solid. All right, I'll say A. As much as I love Revenge of the Cybermen, I can't call it an S story. I mean, it's got a plot hole the size of a planet with nobody using gold on it on the planet of gold. So I can't put it in S tier, but it's a solid A tier. Terror of the Zygons is, yeah, A tier. Planet of Evil. I'm going to put that in S tier. I love Planet of Evil. I don't know what y'all are on about. Pyramid is GOAT. Straight up GOAT tier. Android Invasion. Even the Android Invasion, which is, I think, is the weakest of the seasons, a solid A. Brain of Morbius, solid A. Seeds of Doom, solid S. Knocking on the door of GOAT, honestly. Like, that's really tempting. That is really tempting. Mask of Mandragora. That's a solid B. I like Mask of Mandragora. Hand of Fear, gonna be honest, not a fan of the fourth. The fourth episode just kind of hurts it a lot. Deadly Assassin, solid C for me. Face of Evil, solid A for me. Love Face of Evil. Robots of Death, B. I'll give it a B. Talons is S tier. Flat out S tier. Horror of Fang Rock is S tier. Invisible Enemy. I do like it more than Hand of Fear, so yeah. Image of the Findal. Still got to put it a little below average. I like aspects of it, but it just doesn't quite come together. Sunmakers, solid A tier. Underworld, solid B tier. I like Underworld. Yeah, I think it even deserves more than a C. The Invasion of Time. Nah, I can't do Invasion of Time. That one is just, it's not that good. It's just not that good. Ribos Operation. I love the Ribos Operation. It's got to go there. Pirate Planet also has to go S. The Stones of Blood. It's got a solid B. A solid A story. It really does. Androids of Tara. It really depends on my watch through. I'm going to put it in C for now. Sometimes I like it more than others. Kroll. Oof, yeah, you guys know I got to do it. It has a few moments, but I got to do it. Armageddon Factor. Solid B. Solid B. Destiny of the Daleks. I'm going to put that one in A. It's only got a B story, but it's got an S rewatchability. I love rewatching Destiny of the Daleks. So it's got to go in A. City of Death, GOAT. I mean, that's GOAT. That's got to go in GOAT. Creature from the Pit is a solid B for me. Nightmare of Eden is a nice C for me. Horns of Nymon, I gotta give it a B. It's so much fun. I mean, just for fun factor, I need to put it in S, honestly. Shada is a solid A for me. S. I've watched Shada so many times, I'm a little burned out on Shada, so I'm just gonna leave it in A. Leisure Hive. Not a. That's watchable. We'll put it there. Meglos. I like Meglos. Solid B for me. Full Circle. C. State of Decay. S. Warrior's Gate. A. Mainly for the visual execution of it. I love the way they did that story. Keeper of Traken. A. Legopolis. Yeah, I'll give it C. Castrovalva is my favorite Davison story. It's got to be S. Fort of Doomsday is also S for me. I love Fort of Doomsday. Kenda. You know what? I won't put Kenda fully in F because the last half of the The first half is terrible, but the second half is not bad. So E for me for Kenda. Higher than some of y'all thought I'd put it. The Visitation is great. That's a solid A. Love the location work. Black Orchid. And I'm going to go with D. Earth Shock. Oh, all right. I'll give it the S tier. Time Flight, average. I was fine with Time Flight. I need to rewatch Time Flight. Arc of Infinity. I really like Arc of Infinity, especially with the updated effects. I will say A tier because I like that one a lot. Snake Dance, solid B tier. Maldron Undead. I'm not a huge fan of Maldron Undead. There's some of the execution of it. I like the concept, just some of the execution doesn't work. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in D actually. Terminus C. Terminus isn't bad. Enlightenment is ooh. I'm gonna say A. King's Demons, a solid B. I like King's Demons, although I'm tempted. You know, going off my own enjoyment, I'm going to put that in A. I like King's Demons. The Five Doctors. If I put the Five Doctors in GOAT, I have to put the Three Doctors in GOAT. All right, I'm going to move Three Doctors into GOAT. Because if I put Five Doctors in GOAT, I have to put Three Doctors in GOAT. And they both do such a good job of celebrating everything Doctor Who up to that point that I feel like I have to put them in GOAT. They are the two essential like anniversary specials I think everybody should see, so I kind of have to. So I'll definitely put them up there. Warriors of the Deep, no, straight up awful, awful. The Awakening, it has a good first half, but I don't care for the second half, so yep, it's going in F. Frontios is good, B level good. Resurrection of the Daleks is a solid. I'm going to put it in B just because it needs updated effects. Updated effects, it'll shoot up to an A. Planet of Fire, the regular version, C. Caves of Androzani, yep. All right, I'm going to put it in GOAT. Like, for me, it's more S tier. I'll give it GOAT because it probably is objectively the best regeneration story. I like the fact that he has nobody on his side. Everyone who's around him is a bad person. I'll put it in GOAT just for that. Less because of my own personal opinions and more because I objectively think it deserves to be there. Personally, I just have it in S tier. Twin Dilemma. Yeah, it's got Twin Dilemma has a few things I like about it. So it'll go there. Attack of the Cybermen. I think it's S tier. I like it. I like Attack better than Earth Shock, so I definitely think it's got to go there. Vengeance on Vera, solid B for me. Mark of the Rani, solid S. I love Mark of the Rani a lot. The Two Doctors, solid S, even if it isn't overly bit long. Time Lash with the updated effects is a solid B. I enjoy it. Revelation of the Daleks, solid B. Mysterious Planet, solid B. I'm trying to think if I'm being too harsh on Mysterious Planet. Mind Warp, I don't like Mind Warp much. Terror of the Vervoids, solid B. Okay, I'm going to bump Mysterious Planet up to A. I do like Mysterious Planet a bit. It's got glitz. I like glitz. So I'll bump it up to A. Ultimate Foe. Let's go C for that. Time and the Ronnie. Is it B or C? B or C? B or C? All right, we'll say C because I enjoy it well enough. Paradise Towers. Solid A tier. Delta and the Bannerman. Solid F tier. Dragonfire. I'll go A tier. I like Dragonfire. Remembrance of the Daleks. Is it S tier? Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll do that. Happiness Patrol, also S tier. I like Happiness Patrol a lot, even if it's not perfect. Does the Candyman bump it down a little bit? Let me think. Yep, we'll bump it down to A tier. I don't like the Candyman bit. Silver Nemesis is fine. I think it's average. Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I'm going to average it out because I really hate the first 2 episodes, but I really love the ending. So I'm going to bump that into C, I think. Battlefield. Solid B. Ghostlight. Goat. Curse of Fenric. Is that what we're on? Curse of Fenric. Goat. These encompass the 7th Doctor really well. I love Ghostlight. It's just so weird. I love that. I'm tempted to bump that down into S. Does it deserve GOAT? Does it deserve S? I'm looking right now, like, is Ghostlight better than Seeds of Doom? Is it really? And better than Ark in Space? You know, I'm going to bump it down to S. Curse of Fenric, I'm going to leave it there. I think it's essential watching. Ghostlight's knocking on the door. Several of these are knocking on the door to GOAT. Seeds of Doom, Ark in Space, Planet of Evil. Several of Horror of Fang Rot, but I'll give it to Fenric. It is, I do like Fenric a lot. Survival, man, just average, honestly. The TV movie, I'm going to give it a solid A. I actually like the TV movie a pretty good bit. And we'll start with the modern series. How does it stack up? Rose. I'm going to put Rose in A tier. It's close to S tier, not quite. Enemy of the World. Solid B. The Unquiet Dead. Let's see. Aliens in London. I don't really go back to this one a lot. Same thing with World War III. I tend to rank stories as just, different parters in Modern Who is one story. Dalek is GOAT. That is definitely GOAT. Love that one. The Long Game, average. Father's Day, average. The Empty Child, The Doctor Dances, GOAT. GOAT. I absolutely love this 2-parter. Boomtown, I enjoy. That's a solid A. Bad Wolf, Parting of the Ways. Okay, these might actually rank differently. Bad Wolf, I'm going to put C because I don't like all the dated references. Parting of the Ways will get A because I do like it a lot. Christmas Invasion, a little below average for me. Love the ending. New Earth, I'll say average. Tooth and Claw, definitely A. I'll say A. I do like Tooth and Claw. School Reunion is S tier. Love it. Girl in the Fireplace. GOAT. I love The Girl in the Fireplace so much. I do. Like, greatest of all time. Now I'm stopping to think, do I love it more than Planet of Evil, Ark in Space, Seeds of Doom? It's really hard to do all of these different eras on one scale. Like, is The Girl in the Fireplace better than The Talons? It's really, but I mean, how many stories are better than Talons and Horror of Fang Rot? But I really love The Girl in the Fireplace. I really do. I really connect with that. And it's such a good soundtrack. I'm going to leave it. So let's see. We had the Age of Steel 2-parter and a Girl in the Fireplace. Go. Right. Okay. Had to remember where I was for a second. Idiot's Lantern. No, I'll put it in D, but it isn't bad. It's one of those you rewatch once or twice a decade. The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit is a solid A. Might go a little higher if the effects didn't look a little dated. but it's good. I like it. Love and Monsters. Garbage. Yes, the garbage category has been reserved for Modern Who, because there are just those Modern Who, Doctor Who episodes that are worse than anything Classic Who has ever put out. So we had to have a category just for bad Modern Who stuff. Because, well, some of it's just garbage, let's be honest. Fear Her is straight up garbage. That's worse than Love and Monsters. Army of Ghost and Doomsday. Solid B's. The Runaway Bride. Solid B. Smith and Jones. Solid B. Shakespearean Code is S tier. I love that one. Gridlock. Gridlock is GOAT. I love Gridlock. I love Gridlock. Like, even higher than some of the Tom Baker ones I have here. I just have a strong love for Gridlock. It's my... But yeah, it's probably my favorite Modern Who episode. Actually, I think when I ranked all of Modern Who, it was number 1 on that list. I tend to love that one. Daleks in Manhattan? I'll put that one in C. Lazarus Experiment is a solid A. Needs some updated effects. Solid A. 42. You know, I'll give 42 C. Human Nature, Family of Blood. I don't think that's quite S tier like some people would. It's good, but not S tier. Blink. I do think Blink legitimately goes in GOAT. It's that good. It's just that good. Utopia. I'm gonna say S tier. It's so good. Sound of Drums. B. Last of the Time Lords. B. Voyage of the Damned. Gotta be honest, that's more of a C these days. Partners in Crime. B. Fires of Pompeii. Don't really get into that one. Planet of the Ood. D. Centauran Stratagem. In the Sky. C. The Doctor's Daughter. C. Unicorn and the Wasp. Straight up S tier. So much fun, that one. Silence in the Library. I just think that's A tier. Maybe it's because I've watched it too many times. Midnight, definitely. I'm just going to say S tier. Turn Left. No. Stolen Earth Journey's End. B for me. The Next Doctor. That's solid A-level fun. The ending doesn't quite stick, but A-level fun. Planet of the Dead is S tier. Love that one. Waters of Mars. C. End of Time. Both parts. Are they S tier or... I'll go with A tier for those. Moving into the 11th hour. Definitely a GOAT. Best post-regeneration episode. Definitely a GOAT. Beast Below. I like the Beast Below a lot, but I'll just give it A tier. Victory of the Daleks. A tier. Time of the Angels. I like that one a lot too. A tier. Vincent and the Doctor. C. No, that's Vampires of Venice. Let's see. Vampires of Venice. I don't revisit it a lot, but yeah, let's go A tier. Amy's Choice. No. Hungry Earth. Cold Blood. Am I being mean to these? Let me think about this for a second. Nope, they go there. Vincent and the Doctor is a solid C for me, because it has stuff I like, it has stuff I don't. I've talked about that in several videos. It just averages out to average for me. Lodger is solid B. Pandora opens a Big Bang is a solid. Well, yeah, C. I thought about moving those up to B, but I'll say C. A Christmas Carol is a nice solid A. Impossible Astronaut, A. Day of the Moon, A. Curse of the Black Spot. All right, I'm going to admit that one's kind of C, but I enjoy it well enough. It's one of those every blue moon ones. Doctor's Wife, B. Rebel Flesh, not complete garbage. I'm going to say E for these two. E. Yeah, they're better than some. A Good Man Goes to War is pretty solid. A. Garbage. Night Terror is garbage. The Girl Who Waited. Solid B. God Complex. Go with D. I don't like the story itself. It's rubbish, but I love the execution, so we'll go with D. Closing Time. C. Wedding of River Song. Yeah, let's go with E. Doctor, the Winter in the Wardrobe. Solid B. What's that? Asylum of the Daleks. That one has to go in A. It doesn't deserve to go in A, but despite its many flaws, and it has them, I enjoy it. So it's going in A more for my enjoyment than me objectively thinking it needs to be there. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. No. Town Called Mercy. Let's see. C. There he is. Yeah, Town Called Mercy. Solid C, solid B. Town Called Mercy really depends on my mood. Really does. I will say C. It's knocking on the door to B. Power of 3. Yeah, that's pretty garbage. Angels Take Manhattan. More garbage. The Snowman, though. Ooh, I do like the Snowman. That is S tier. Easily the best version of Clara. The Bells of St. John. S tier. The Rings of Akatan. I don't do that one. It's not complete garbage, though. But it is going in F. Cold War is really good. Is it A tier? Hyde is B tier. Journey to the Center of the Tardis is garbage. It needs a rewatch, though. Crimson Horror. All right, it's B tier. It really is B schlock, but I love it. I love it. Nightmare in Silver. You know what? Nightmare in Silver to me is C. I like it more than some. Name of the Doctor, though, aside from a really good intro and a really good outro, the middle's just kind of I'll give it D. Was it really? Yeah, we'll go there. Day of the Doctor. I'll give it A. I feel like I'm being kind, though. Time of the Doctor, B. Deep Breath. I like Deep Breath. That is a solid A. Into the Dalek. Little below average. It's not bad. Little below average for me. Robots of Sherwood is good fun. Yeah, B. B. I'm fine with B. Listen. Listen is not complete crap. Even though the ending makes it crap. But it doesn't deserve garbage. I will bump it up to F. Time Heist. Time Heist I like, but how much do I like Time Heist? This gets tricky. This gets really tricky. I'm going to go with B. I do like Time Heist. The Caretaker. I don't like The Caretaker, but I don't think it's complete garbage. Kill the Moon is complete garbage. Mummy on the Orient Express, S tier. Does it deserve GOAT tier? I really like Mummy on the Orient Express. It's just so clever in the things it does. I cannot decide. I'm going to leave it in S tier for now. We'll see. It's really good, though. Flatline is also S tier. Forest of the Night. Yeah, that's garbage. Dark Water. I don't get into Dark Water. I don't think they're complete garbage, though. Last Christmas goes here. Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar. They have moments in them, though. They really go between D and E, but I'm going to bump them up to D a little because they have moments. They do have really good moments. Under the Lake Before the Flood. I'm going to go B. I really like these. They could go B or A. I could redo this list as soon as I finish this, and I know everything would be exactly the same. It's just, it's too many stories. The Girl Who Died, The Woman Who Lived. There are moments. There are moments. It's not complete garbage. The Saigon Invasion, the Saigon Inversion. Let's say part 1 is complete garbage. Part 2 has the speech, so we'll bump it up a little. Sleep No More is okay. I think that's average. It does some neat things. It's not, it doesn't pull off what it's trying to do, but it has some neat ideas. Face the Raven kills Clara, so it can't be all bad, but it's still pretty bad. Let's bump it there. Heaven Sent. I really do have to put that in GOAT. I love Heaven Sent. I think Capaldi's doing a hell of a one-man show there. Hell Bent, I'm not as keen on, but is it average? No, I'm going to give it D, a little below average. Husbands of River Song is a good one. Solid B tier for me. Return of Dr. Mysterio. I'm a little kinder to this one fresh off a rewatch, but I don't really get into it. But Pilot, not the biggest fan, but it's not bad. Not a bad start. I need to rewatch it. Some of these I just need to rewatch. Smile. I like Smile. Solid. Let's go C. Knocking on the Door, B. Thin Ice is S tier. I love Thin Ice. Knock Knock. You know what? I'm gonna give that A tier. I like Knock Knock. The ending cheats a little bit, but I like it. Oxygen is garbage. Extremis. I like Extremis. Extremis. I'm gonna go with C, but it's knocking on the door. B. Garbage. Garbage. Empress of Mars. Probably B. Eaters of Light. I don't dislike this one, but I still think it's slightly below average. Slightly below average isn't necessarily bad. World Enough in Time is definitely S tier. However, I do think the Doctor falls just a little. I'm going to bump it down to A tier. It's not quite as good as part 1. Knocking on the Door. It's sitting there going, let me in, let me in. Not by the hair on a chinny chin chin. A huff and a puffin and a blow your head. I'm going to have some green jelly in my head. Twice Upon a Time, S tier. Despite the issues with the first Doctor, I still think it's S tier. Do I? Let's think on this for a minute, actually. Do I? Yes, I do. I do. I have to think about it, but yes, I do. Oh, The Woman Who Fell to Earth. I am way kinder to this one, fresh off a rewatch of it. I don't think it deserves to be quite an F, so we'll put it in E. The Ghost Monument, I actually really do like a lot. I'm going to put that one in A. Rosa, I can't put it in garbage because it's objectively not, but it is the most racist episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen. Unintentionally racist of any episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen. But it still objectively is a good thing for people in Britain who might not be familiar with Rosa's story. I'm going to give it E because it does do some good things. The actress playing Rosa is very good in it. There's some good performances, and there are some good moments. Arachnids in the UK is garbage. The Subaru Conundrum, um, you know what? It has moments. It's not great. It's really hard to pick right here. Yeah, it's not. I can't put it above these though. Nah, it's got to go there at least. It can't be above Invasion of Time and some of these others. Demons of the Punjab though, that one's solid. That's like, I really like Demons of the Punjab. But the question is, do I like Demons of the Punjab more than some of the stuff? This is where it gets hard when you're doing all of this. Because, like, do I like Demons of the Punjab more than I like stories that are already here? Like, do I like Demons? Demons does good stuff. I'm going to give it the A. I'm going to give it the A. I feel like it deserves it. Kerblam is a solid B for me. It is so good. The Witchfinders, an E. I don't think it's complete. Like, I don't think it deserves to be down here. But I don't really like going back to watch it either. It takes you away. No. The Battle of No. Resolution. I have to put it down here because I never go back and rewatch it, even though I like the things it does. Spyfall Part 1. Ooh. I do like those, but is it? Okay, that's what I'll do. Part 1 will go in B. Part 2 will go in C because Part 2 doesn't quite live up to Part 1. Orphan 55 does do some good stuff. It does some really bad stuff. It does some really dumb stuff, but it has moments. I'll put it in E. I'll give it E. The Tesla episode, you guys know I really like the Tesla episode a lot. Not sure if it deserves A or B, though. I can't decide if it's a weak A or a strong B. Again, I'm trying to compare it to the stuff that's already in these. And so that makes it really difficult. I'm going to give it the A. I do like that one a lot. Fugitive of the Jadoon, solid B. Solid B. Praxius. Okay, it's not complete garbage. It's just uninteresting. Can You Hear Me is really good. I really enjoy that one. Which level of good is it? It has a Deus Machina ending, but I think it has Whitaker's best performance in the role. And I do think it's a strong episode. Do I think it's a strong B or a weaker A? I will say B. But it's a really strong B. The Haunting of Villa Diodati. I need to rewatch this one. I'm going to give it an A because I remember being blown away at the time. Ascension of the Cybermen. I got to go D just because it's tied to Timeless Children and we know where that goes. Revolution of the Daleks. I'm going to give it the B. Let's see here. Chapter 1 is the Halloween Apocalypse. Not complete garbage, but not good. Suntaran one, it's just pulled down by being a stuck in flux. Let's see. Let's see. Once Upon Time. Yeah, that one didn't do anything for me. Village of the Angels. This would be so good if it wasn't wrapped up in the Flux stuff. And then the ending wasn't completely stupid. I'm going to put it in... Ooh, can I put it in B? Can I really say it's better than so many of these other things in C? Where did I put the Suntaran one, by the way? I'm trying to remember where I put the Suntaran one. It probably needs to go in the same spot. I put Suntaran in D. I'm going to move this one to C. If it was a standalone episode, it would be so good. But being wrapped up in the Flux stuff and having that really dumb ending doesn't work. But it's shot really well. It's directed really well. And I love the camera work in it as well, for the most part. This one... I'm going to put in E, because I do love the scenes when Jericho and Yaz and Graham, Ryan, whoever it all is there is trapped in the past. That's really good. Is it Dan? Yeah, that's right. It's not Dan, Yaz, and Jericho. When they're in the past, that's pretty funny. So I'm going to put it right there. Vanquishers, I just thought was garbage. Yeah, garbage. Even though I did like the scene with the Great Intelligence interrogating the Doctor. That's pretty cool. Other than that, garbage. Eve of the Daleks. I like Eve of the Daleks. I think I'm going to put it in average, but I do like it. Legend of the Sea Devils, garbage. Power of the Doctor. It's like, I like Power of the Doctor, but is it better than the stories that are in B? That's the tricky part about doing this, because like a B-level story for Modern Who and a B-level story for Classic Who are different things. So trying to rate Modern Who and Classic Who together is very difficult. Because like an A-level Classic Who story and an A-level Modern Who story, different things. So while I want to put Power of the Doctor in at least A, because I do like it, I think it's her best story. And I have several of her others in A. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it in A. Like, I'm tempted to put it in S. It's the one story I feel like might deserve S, but I can't put it in S over, like, Terror of the Zygons. I just can't. So we'll give it A. There are a couple others I need to move. When I was taking a break, I was looking over the list, and there are a couple stories that need to move up. Midnight. I really do think Midnight deserves a GOAT. It's such a good story. One of my favorite things about Midnight is that it doesn't explain the origin of the entity. It's just called the Midnight Entity, usually when fans are talking about it. I love that. I love the mystery of the villain, of the antagonist of the story, and the claustrophobic nature of it. It's crazy because I used to not stand Midnight. To see me have flipped around on it so much after my last watch through. But if I'm moving Midnight up, I've got to move up Seeds of Doom, and I've got to move up Talons. Because if Midnight goes up, Talons and Seeds of Doom have to go up, because they are just phenomenal Doctor Who. Now, there's a couple of them I'd like to move up as well, like, say, Horror of Fang Rock. I don't quite think Horror of Fang Rock hits GOAT. It's close. It's sitting there knocking at the door, but not quite there. I'm trying to think if there's any other one that really needs to move up. There's a couple of them I'd like to move up, like Evil of the Daleks. I don't quite think it hits it, though. There's just something about Seeds of Doom and Talons. They deserve to be in that GOAT status. And I think Midnight does, too. At least after my last watch through, I really enjoyed it. I think it stands pretty toe-to-toe with Blink, if not completely, then very close. The Star Beast... I like the Star Beast well enough. I will give it C. It does have a couple problems. That one, the Let It Go scene is really bad, but the rest of it's good. It's an enjoyable episode. I'm tempted to put it in B, but I think C is a comfortable spot for it. I liked Wild Blue Yonder quite a bit, but I don't think it beats some of the ones here, actually, thinking about it. I think it's more, now that I've had time to marinate on it a bit, more a B one. The Giggle... Also more a B, although I like Wild Blue Yonder more than the Giggle. Uh, all three of the specials do have a very epic feel to them. A very more budget went into it to them. I will admit that. And the Church on Ruby Road, which I liked. I thought it was really good. I actually liked Shooty's Doctor a lot in it. This is the one I think could shift depending on where his era goes. But for now, I'm going to go with C. That's where I think I'm going to sit here. And so we'll take a minute and we'll look over everything and we'll see what all we have. And I'll see if I feel like anything needs to move around. So in the greatest of all time, we have, what, about 24 stories? The Time Meddler, Power of the Daleks, The Invasion, The War Games, Inferno, Day of the Daleks, Special Edition, The Three Doctors, Genesis, Pyramids of Mars, Seeds of Doom, Talons of Wing Chang, City of Death, The Five Doctors, Caves of Androzani, Curse of Fenric, and then from the modern series, Dalek, The Empty Child two-parter, Girl in the Fireplace, Gridlock. I love Gridlock. Blink, Midnight, The 11th Hour, and Heaven Sent. Those are the ones I call GOAT stories. Now, whether I would actually rank them as the top 24 stories of Doctor Who, I don't know. If I ever do a list actually ranking classic and modern together, that would be, there's such different beasts, that would be really hard to do. This was really hard to do. But even S tier, top tier here. There's a lot of them here. Reign of Terror, The Rescue, The Romans, The Moon Base, Macra, Evil, Spearhead, Mind of Evil. I'm going over them to see if anything needs to move anywhere. Carnival, Green Death, Time Warrior, Robot, Ark in Space, Planet of Evil, Fang Rock, Rybos, Pirate, State of Decay, Fort of Doomsday. I'm pretty happy with everything so far. Even Mark of the Ronnie. I love Mark of the Ronnie a lot. The little tree bit's a little weird. I could see Mark of Ronnie dropping to A, but I'm going to leave it there. Two Doctors. It's a little padded, but I love it. I do love it. Remembrance, Ghostlight. And then, yeah, even some modern Who, School Reunion, Shakespearean Code, Utopia. I love Utopia. Utopia is almost GOAT tier. Like, it almost is. It's knocking on the door. Planet of the Dead, Snowmen, St. John, Midnight on New York Express, Flatline, Thin Ice. Wow, look how many Capaldi has. He has some really good stories. Thin Ice, World Enough in Time, Twice Upon a Time. A lot of them in A tier. A tier is pretty full here. There's a lot of them in there. Keys of Marinus, Planet of Giants, Invasion of Earth, The Ark, The Highlanders. Yeah, the Arnold Snowmen, the Crotons. I love the Crotons. Highly underrated. Death to the Daleks, Revenge of the Cybermen. Revenge of the Cybermen, I want to put that in S tier. I just can't reasonably justify it. I love Revenge of the Cybermen. Droid Invasion, Brain of Morbius, Face of Evil, Sunmakers. Yeah, a lot of Tom Baker stuff over here. A lot of good Tom Baker stories out there. The Visitation, the Arc of Infinity. Watch it with the updated effects if you don't believe me. It's really good. All of the versions of Enlightenment are good. I like King's Demons. I don't understand why people don't. It's a great two-parter that knows it only needs to be a two-parter. Mysterious Planet. And then we got some stuff here. From McCoy, the TV movie. I feel comfortable with that. Rose, Boomtown, Parting of the Ways. Bunch of Tenet stuff sliding into the A tier here, including the Cybermen two-parter. I'm pretty comfortable with how this is turning out. Unicorn and the Wasp. Should I put that in B? I do like that one a lot, though. I do believe that the Library two-parter is only A. I know some people would put it higher. I think it's only A. Time. Ooh, a lot of Matt Smith falling in A here. Christmas Carol. Even some Series 6 stuff. That's pretty nice. A couple from it anyway. Or Day of the Doctor. Not a whole lot of Capaldi falling in the A's, because most of it's either higher or lower. He doesn't have a lot of stuff in the middle. He has a lot of stuff that's really good and really bad. We actually have more from Whitaker in the A era, which is as high as she gets, which kind of makes me sad, but I do like the ones in her A era. Ghost Monument, Demons, Tesla, Haunting of Villa Diodati, and Power of the Dark. I wonder if I should move Can You Hear Me up, because I like Can You Hear Me a lot, but do I like Can You Hear Me more than a lot of the stories? That is the problem. You know what? I'm going to move that one up because I do like. I'm going to move that to A because I do like Can You Hear Me? I don't know if I always like it better than some of these, but I think it deserves to be there. I think it's a good story. It's got a couple problems, but it deserves to be there. And Power of the Doctor, yes. B tier, still above average. Got a lot of Hartnell stuff in the B tier from me. Only one from Troughton, very interesting. A little bit, yeah, sorry. B tier for the Daemons. I actually prefer Colony in Space over the Daemons, but admit I can't justify putting Colony in Space any higher. Sea Devils, Mutants. The Mutants I could see dropping to C on rewatch. Time Monster I like. Planet of Spiders I can't justify putting it any higher. It's a mixed bag. I'm more Tom Baker stuff in D than I figured, but again, still above average. Sontaran Experiment, Mandragora, Robots of Death, that's as high as it gets. As much as I love the production design, I find the story not that great. I like Underworld, underrated. Armageddon Factor, Creature from the Pit, Horns of Nimon, it's so much fun. Megalos, got some good stuff from 5, some good stuff here from 6. I like Time Lash, Paul Darrow. It's worth it just for Paul Darrow. Only one from McCoy, interesting. Only one from 9, a bunch of 10th Doctor stuff here. Got some 11th Doctor stuff. Going through seeing if anything needs to move. I want to move Crimson Horror up one, but I think B tier is good for it. Robots of Sherwood, Time Heist, Under the Lake. Again, the Under the Lake one I'm tempted to move up as well, because that is really good. But I'm comfortable where it sits there. Where is Cold War? Okay, I need to move Empress of Mars up, because I can never pick between Empress of Mars and Cold War. So if I have Cold War in A, I need to have Empress of Mars in A, because Empress of Mars is good. So that works. I believe in having that in A. The Husbands of River Song. I actually enjoy these Whitaker ones well enough. And then, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable with the specials being there. Wild Blue Yonder's knocking on the door of A, I'll admit. And the Giggle has a nice epic feel to it. Average stories, the ones I think are average. The Daleks, you know it's true. The color version's a little better. I'd put it in B. Marco Polo, just going from the cut down. The Sensorites, Mission to the Unknown, which I like. Toymaker, which I like. 10th Planet, especially the first half I like. Again, we got some stuff from Troughton here. A little bit from Pertwee that's just kind of in the middle. Even got some Tom Baker ones here in the middle. Deadly Assassin, Androids of Tara, Nightmare of Eden, Full Circle, Legopolis. So some Tom Baker in average. Some, let's see, The Ultimate Foe, Time of the Ronnie, Silver Nemesis, Greatest Show in the Galaxy, Survival. Yeah, Survival's just kind of average. It gets a little more credit just for being the last story, I think, than it deserves. Some stuff from 9 and 10 here. Evolution of the Death, Voyage of the Damned, Satard Stratagem, Doctor's Daughter, Waters of Mars. I actually put Waters of Mars in average. Sometimes I think that needs to go in like D, but it is well made. Several things here from pretty good range from different people here, actually. Actually, I have a pretty good range here from all of the Doctors. I like that. So, getting into the below average stories. These are the ones that, this is the one category I think that's below average that I still think are good. I just think they're below average. Edge of Destruction. I love the ending. Mythmakers. That recon's hard to get through, but I love the novel. The Ice Warriors. It's still good. It's just, it kind of plods along. Enemy of the World. Still good. Doesn't have much of a rewatchability to me. Ambassadors of Death. Great story. Too long. Claws, even though it's my least favorite Pertwee, I still like watching it. Planet of the Daleks, kind of the same thing. Hand of Fear, great 3 episodes, bad landing though, does not stick to landing. Invisible Enemy, I like the Invisible Enemy, but it's more famous for introducing K9 than really anything else. The story's a bit rubbish, but I like having the guy who invented K9 in it. He's cool. And Image of the Findal. I don't know what it is about this one. It has a lot of great elements. It's a great script on paper. It just doesn't come together properly. Black Orchid. Maldron Undead. This Maldron Undead I feel like I should put in C, but for some reason I never want to go back to it. The Aliens of London one, same way. Christmas Invasion, Idiot's Lantern, Planet of the Ood. I like those. I just don't go back to them. God Complex, love the execution of the story, even though the story is rubbish. Into the Dalek, I can watch it with no problem. Same thing with the Magician's Apprentice two-parter. Has good stuff in it, but bad stuff in it. Hellbent, mixed bag. The Pilot, mixed bag. Eaters of Light, mixed bag. Resolution, really well made story that I never had the urge to rewatch. Ascension of the Cybermen, its ties to timeless children hurt it. And then the Suntaran one, mixed bag. Then we start getting into the ones that I start to dislike, that I actually, they might be watchable, but I'm not overly fond of them. Fury from the Deep, purely down to the animation, love the story. The Dominators is just a hard watch. It's more famous for being one of the rare complete Troutons than it is for being good. It is hard to get through, even though Trouton's phenomenal in it. Space Pirates, the novelization is great. That recon is a struggle to get through. Invasion of Time, I don't like going back to rewatch it. Maybe if I can watch it with the updated effects when the box set comes out, it'll move up a little. The Leisure Hive, watchable. Perfectly watchable. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's watchable. Kinda, same thing. Has a much better second half. Twin Dilemma has some good elements, just a lot of bad elements. Fires of Pompeii, it's not necessarily bad. Some CGI is dated badly. I never want to go back and rewatch it. The Rebel Flesh two-parter does some interesting things. Never want to go back and rewatch it. Wedding of River Song, convoluted mess, but still watchable. This one, the Dark Water two-parter, is just uninteresting. It's just kind of boring. It's not bad. It's just boring. Woman Who Fell to Earth, same thing. Rosa has some objective merits, but extremely racist. Subaru Conundrum has things I like, things I don't. Witchfinders, mixed bag, mostly bad, but the things I like, I do like. Orphan 55, mixed bag. And the final chapter of Flux. What is that? Oh, yeah, chapter 5 of Flux. Does some things I like, does some things I don't. F. This is where we're getting into bad, especially from the Classic Who. F is as low as Classic Who stories get. Some of them are bad, possibly watchable, just bad. Web Planet, I respect the ambition. I will always respect the ambition behind it. They tried. They pull a few things off. But as a four-parter, I'd be more lenient on it. As a six-parter, it's hard to get through. The Chase has good episodes and bad episodes. The Gunfighters is the Gunfighters. Power of Kroll is Power of Kroll. Warriors of the Deep is probably worse than Power of Kroll. The Awakening has a good first episode with a bad second episode. Mind Warp, I just don't care for. I'd rather watch Power of Kroll. Delta and the Bannerman, it's better than Mind Warp. The Rings of Akatan, it bores me. I love Matt's speech, but it bores me. Listen, I don't put Listen in complete garbage because the episode is doing well until it gets to the end. The end just kind of ruins the episode, but I don't feel like it deserves complete garbage. It's just really bad. The Caretaker's kind of the same way. The Girl Who Died, The Woman Who Lived, there are a few things in them I like, so they don't go into complete garbage. The Zygon one, part 1 doesn't do much for me. Part 2 gets elevated slightly above garbage because it has that great speech in it. And that's it. The great speech. That's it. Face the Raven, it could have been worse, and it kills Clara. Return of Dr. Mysterio, fresh off a rewatch, I'm a little more lenient on it, so it doesn't go into garbage. Praxeus is just boring. It's not necessarily actively bad. It does a few things. It's just uninteresting. And then, yeah, that one's got a couple things going for it, but it's pretty bad. And then the garbage ones, the ones that are just utter crap that no one should ever watch again, ever. And they should never have been made. These are all Modern Who. These are all Modern Who. Love and Monsters, Fear Her, Turn Left. Turn Left is watchable, to be fair, but it's still garbage. Amy's Choice, The Hungry Earth. You know what? I'm going to bump Turn Left up a little because it is watchable. I don't like it, but it is watchable. Oh, it deserves that. I'm going to bump that up. Amy's Choice, Hungry Earth, Cold Blood. That one, Night Terrors, Dinosaurs on the Spaceship. Power of 3 has a couple redeeming moments, but it's pretty bad. Angels Take Manhattan, Journey to the Center of the Tardis, Kill the Moon, In the Forest of the Night, Last Christmas, The Saigon Invasion, Oxygen, Pyramids of Mars, Lie of the Land, Arachnids in the UK, It Takes You Away, The Battle of Crap, The Timeless Children, and then these 3 parts of Flux, because every single one of those stories I consider unwatchable. So I had to bump Turn Left Up. Every single one in there I think are unwatchable pieces of junk. They're embarrassment to the series. These, what is that, 25 stories, I think? 25 Doctor Who stories that are just an embarrassment. And the writers should be ashamed of themselves because those stories are awful. I'm glad Classic Never Who quite falls into that range, although they've got some bad ones of their own. So that's pretty much my list. I'd like to know what you think of this list and what you think of this video. Comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. And all the other fun stuff, all the other details, links to the Patreon are in the description. Links to the Amazon wish list are down there. YouTube memberships are available. My P.O. box is down there if you would like to send anything to look at and review. I'd love to get some more Doctor Who shirts. I wear like a medium or a small if anybody wants to send sci-fi in general shirts. I need some new shirts. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, and Finn Perkins. I do appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. It is appreciated. And most importantly, thank you for watching.